What's going on, folks? Once again, I'm Nev from Nav's Tech Bits, otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. We're having a look back. Popular Mechanics, June 1976. Having a look back, see what kind of mechanics, technology, and how society was back in the day. Man, everything was different. Relationships were different. At this point, we still had cigarette smoking going on within stores. I'll never forget the very fine sand that they had in some of the ashtrays. Gillette, of course, was a very big deal. We get so many stereotypes in these advertisements. Ooh, that's fancy. This is the first kit like this I've seen. There's substantially more black and white in this magazine, and it seems to be that clay type of paper. It isn't actually paper, it's clay. It doesn't really burn all that well. The Vivitar. I do not miss the old photography where you had to do all of the things. Backpacking through Oregon. The original colonies. Do people do that? Or is that just homeless people these days? Nobody's lower than Carlton. Nobody gives you less cancer than Carlton. I'm kind of interested why anyone legitimately even cares about the amount of nicotine and tar in their cigarettes. I mean, you know it's going to end you. And over here you see why I don't mind us being in this new age of photography. There's so many technical things you needed to learn. Of course, the ideas in the 70s were a lot more simpler. The laser beam watch, the first watch that glows in the dark. So I guess it automatically knows when it's dark out, so it can give a backlight. Would you do this with your solid state watch? Never heard of that. I mean, I've heard of digital and analog, but I've never heard of solid state watches. I mean, it makes perfect sense, too. Salem ads seem kind of gay. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being gay and all that stuff, but legit, they kind of hit as a bit gay. And there's nothing wrong with that. You do you. Get a better job. Ask for a raise. I wonder if she's trying to tell me something. Jeez, that's a creepy picture. Oh, yuck, all that human interaction. Disgusting. Legit, like, I can't handle being around that many people at the same time and having a smile on all the time. I gotta make a better fake Sunday best face. What is Viceroy? A European homosexual. Found it. Found the minority in this issue. I'm sorry, I'm being a bit of a turd this round, aren't I? I'll turn it off. So much more mundane than the 80s. I've been doing a lot of 80s popular mechanics. Funnel with a handle. That's freaking lovely. Oh, and the technology that they do have is disgusting. I mean, who wants to look at slides? Yuck. The Real-Light seems to have interesting advertisements. They actually put a really good artist into it. I think these guys were the only ones that just threw a really good artist at their ads. Air Force is a great way of life. I think this is the first Air Force advertisement that I've seen. Oh, cool. So yeah, there wasn't a lot of representation back in this time, but legitimately, it's not as if these were aimed at white people so much as it just seemed to have come from a place where white people were, and no one else seemed to jump into it. At least I have these magazines up to 1990, and there wasn't much representation, but we do see a lot of happy families. Now this is something I can deal with. You know, just your family and like grumpy old grandpa back there. He's probably keeping half the stuff going, but he just doesn't want to be at the table, and God bless him. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody's got a smile on. This is just a good time. Right on. Except for the gingers. Gingers don't have souls. I think only older folks will remember what it's like to you needed to be really frickin' good with a camera, or if you didn't have the right light, you were just wasting shots. So back then with the photography, it was a big deal to get your shots, get them sent off, and then brought back. Then you got your like 24-hour photography things done, and then you get your 1 hour photography. But with the 24 and the 1 hour, you get people that just weren't interested in developing them. Some people just sending them through as fast as they could. While other people, like the individual in the story 1 hour photo, it was very important for everything to be absolutely perfect. Oh, hell yeah. Retrofuturism. The 70s would have done this awesome. Of course, retrofuturism, people making pictures of how things were. And then, get an idea how things would be in the future and drawing pretty pictures with it. Back in the day, everyone else was thinking about having a cottage. And today, everyone would just like to have a mobile home to be able to live in. A very Canadian problem, but it's coming to the US. I think it's in Australia, too. I don't know. I'm not comfortable with the way this guy looks like he's trying to sell this thing to this kid. Remember when headsets were so cool, new, large, and bulky that they got their own articles? Would-be thieves not too happy about the breaker alarm. Will you look at this? Will you look at this? Data is freaking beautiful. Okay, so this isn't data exactly, but it gives you the name to all of the bits. Now, is this going to matter to anyone? Probably not. Is it also beautiful? Absolutely. I can still remember the pole and the dock from back in the day. Whoa, look out, shout! Infrared beam? This thing reads LPs with an infrared beam. I wonder what happens if they get dusty. Oh, this is so 70s and I frickin' love it. Look, Ma, no hands. Solid state watches, I suppose. Damn, I love it. I particularly love this one because it says Uranus, and that's my favorite Sailor Scout. Wait, it's solar powered? Well, I'll be damned. Holy frick, that's a solar panel? Look at how much kibbles and bits is on that thing. Bling, bling. Yeah, I want one. That's a thing. Whoa, America had so many flags. Canada, we just have one. I don't know a whole lot about American flags, but I do know one thing. These colors don't run. Surfing on concrete, an aspect that probably reached every child, but how many guys actually got off knowing and having a good skateboard and actually going anywhere with it? On my block, we had the ability to. It just didn't actually seem to get you anywhere based off how much energy you put into it. Now, if I saw my daughter doing that, I would freak the frick out. Oh, I can see why the pages are so sticky and whatnot. Man, back in the day, they could give you... I'm sorry, my heart is just exploding right now. So let's just take in and appreciate the fact that they give you every little aspect of what's going on here. LED assembly, lead wire. So I'm going to take some time on my own and go through this, and now I'm going to figure out what's going on the inside of this, because I am one of those people that like to take things apart to figure out what's going on in here. But look at this. It has a diagram. It has the wiring diagram. They legitimately try to keep these from... There's a guy named Louis Rossman who fixes Apple computers, who has to pay extra money for an underground guy, basically, to give him diagrams of motherboards so that he can fix things. Apple doesn't want you to fix your own things. This looks really cool, but I'm very happy I don't need to worry about any of it. And also, this would be a horrible idea to have around children, because they would not stop playing with it, taking anything out and throwing it all over the place. But hold on, wait, sorry. I'm sorry, that was a horrible shot. This is a teachable moment. Like, in the 70s, kids would know not to mess with these things, and they would know their limitation, because, let's face it, probably with a little bit of domestic violence or something, they'd be able to keep their kids straight. I struggle so hard in order to find a road between punishment, understanding, respect for people's belongings, and I find myself having to make decisions simply not to have stuff like this, because I feel it's very difficult and complicated to teach a child responsibility for other people's stuff. And it's very difficult to be a parent these days compared to what it was previously. Now, hold up. I'm not saying being a parent was ever easy. But man, There was a day I was 2 hours late to school. My dad never found out about it, and, my mom never found out about it, and that was grade 2. If that happened with my kids, holy Let's talk about more positive things. Amazing new wrist radio. Thousands sold at $14.95, now only $9.95. I bet that wouldn't even give you cancer, because it wouldn't be transistors, it'd be tubes. Or would it be transistors? No, it's transistors. I'm gonna give you some cancer. Yeah, take it hunting. It will help your hunting. Just turn the radio up. Lull the fish to sleep with your radio arm. Legit, there was one time when I was like 17 or 18, something like that, and I had to go from one girl's place to another girl's place about 8 country blocks away, and just because I could touch boob if I did, total blank a night. I wish so much more than anything I had a radio, and I wish so much more than anything I had a light, but I would have rather have had a radio that night. 10 out of 10. Touched boob. Would do again. Also, you don't know how dark night can get until you've seen the darkness of night in the country. You don't really think that light pollution is a thing until you get, into photography and stuff like that, into stargazing. Holy crap. It tells you how they expect to test for life on Mars. I love it. I love every little detail of it. The Viking lander. Very interesting. Okay. I have never used aftershave. Don't get burned, get after. $500 for a calculator on your watch. Huh. Gasp, they lied to me. I was told these things move on their own. Oh, this hurts. I kind of think that it's this mentality that is killing North America, or at least is killing the USA and Canada. I hate lawyers. I hate lawyers. Wax up the turtle with turtle wax. All right, folks, that's it from me. Popular Mechanics, 1976. Like and subscribe for more. Always appreciate it. As always, folks, take care of each other, will you?